If you go on thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself. I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which falls into my ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give not me counsel, nor let no comforter delight mine ear, but such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine. Bring me a father that so loved his child, whose joy of hers overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak of patience. Measure his woe the length and breadth of mine, and let it answer every strain for strain, as thus for thus, and such a grief for such, in every lineament, branch, shape, and form. If such a one will smile and stroke his beard, bid sorrow wag, cry hem when he should groan, patch grief with proverbs, makes misfortune drunk with candle wasters.
Bring him yet to me, and I of him will gather patience. But there is no such man, for, brother, men can counsel and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves not feel, but tasting it, their counsel turns to passion, which before would give a precipital medicine to rage, fetter strong madness in a silken thread, charm ache with air, and agony with words. No, 'tis all men's office to speak patient to those that wring under the load of sorrow, but no man's virtue nor sufficiency to be so moral when he shall endure the like himself. Therefore give me no counsel. My griefs cry louder than advertisement.
There ain't a man that killed enough endeavor.
I pray thee, peace.
I will be flesh and blood, for there was never yet philosopher that could endure the toothache patiently, however they have writ the style of gods and made a push at chance and sufferance. Yet bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too. There thou speakest reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know. So shall the prince, and all of them that thus dishonor her. Here comes the prince and Claudio hastily. Good den. Good day to both of you. Hear you, my lords, we have some haste, Leonato. Some haste, my lord? Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one. Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man. If he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Marry, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler. Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy sword. I fear thee not.
Marry, beshrew my hand if it should give your age such cause of fear. In faith, my hand meant nothing towards my sword.
Tush, tush, man, never fleer and jest at me. I speak not like a dotard, nor a fool, as under privilege of age to brag. What have I done, being young? Or what would I do, were I not old? Now, Claudio, to thy head, thou hast wronged mine innocent child and me, that I am forced to lay my reverence by. And with grey hairs and bruise of many days do challenge thee to trial of man. I say, thou hast beguiled mine innocent child, thy slander hath gone through and through hard.
And she lies buried with her ancestors, oh, in a tomb where scandal never slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare, despite his nice frame and his active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lustihood.
Away, I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so daff me? You have killed my child. If thou killest me, thou shalt kill a man.
He shall kill 2 of us, and men indeed. But that's no matter. Let him kill one first. Win me and wear me. Let him answer me. Come, follow me, boy. Come, sir boy. Come, follow me.
Sir boy, I'll whip you from your fining fence. May, as I am a gentleman, I will. Brother, content yourself. God knows I loved my niece, and she's dead, slandered to death by villains. The dare as well answer a man indeed, as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops. Brother Anthony, hold you content. What? Man, I know them, yeah, and what they weigh. Even to the utmost scruffle, scrambling, out-facing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander, go antiquely, short-word hideousness, and speak of half a dozen dangerous words. How they might hurt their enemies if they durst. And this is all. Brother,
Gentlemen, both, we will not await your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death. But on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord.
Pedro said, I will not hear you. Then Leonato said, no, come brother, away. I will be heard. See, here comes the man we went to see. Now, senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Oh. Oh.
Leonato and his brother, what thinkest thou? And before I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We've been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee draw, as we do the minstrels, draw to pleasure us. What courage, man! What though care kill the cat, thou hast metal enough in thee to kill care.
Sir, I shall meet your wit in the career. You charge it against me? I pray you choose another subject.
Nathan, give him another staff. This last was broke across.
By this light, he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed. If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle. Shall I speak a word in your ear? God bless me from a challenge. You are a villain, I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I shall protest your cowardice. You killed the sweet lady, and her death will fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you. Well, I will meet you so that I may have good cheer. What? A feast? A feast? The faith, I thank him. He hath me to be at a calf's head and a capon, the which I do not carve out curiously, Say my knife is not. Shall I find a woodcock too? Your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said, thou hast a fine wit. True, said she, a fine little one. No, said I, a great wit. Right, said she, a great gross one. Nay, said I, a good wit. Just, said she, it hurts nobody. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise. Certain, said she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath tongues. That I believe, said she, for he swore a thing to me on Monday night, which he forswore on Tuesday morning. There's a double tongue, there's two tongues. Thus did she an hour together transshape thy particular virtues. Yet, at last, she concluded with a sigh, thou wast the properest man in Italy. For the which she wept heartily, and said she cared not.
Yea, that she did. But yet for all that, and if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly. The old man's daughter told us all.
All, and moreover God saw him when he was hid in the garden.
But when shall we set the savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedick's head?
Yeah, and text underneath, here dwells Benedick, the married man.
Very well, boy, you know my mind. I will leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jest as braggarts do their blades, which God be thanked, hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your brother, the bastard, is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. For my lord Blackbeard there, he and I shall meet. Till then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest, in most profound earnest, and, I'll warrant you, for the love of Beatrice, and hath challenged thee most sincerely. What a pretty thing man is when he goes in his doublet and hose, and leaves off his wit. He is then a giant to an ape, but then is an ape a doctor to such a man. But soft you, let me be. Pluck up my heart, and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled? Come you, sir. If justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, and you be a cursing hypocrite once. You must be looked to. How now? 2 of my brother's men bound, Borachio 1. Hearken after their offence, my lord.
Officers, what offence have these men done? Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanders. 6th and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things, and to conclude, they are lying knaves. First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what's their offence. 6th and lastly, why they are committed, and to conclude what you lay to their charge. Rightly reasoned and in his own division, and by my troth there's one meaning well suited. Who have you offended, masters, that you're thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offence?
Sweet prince, let me go no farther to mine answer. Do you hear me? And let this count kill me. I have deceived even your very eyes. Your wisdoms could not discover these shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John, your brother, incensed me to slander the lady hero. How you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margaret in hero's garments. How you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead, upon mine and my master's false accusation. Briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee on to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled he is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved it first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our Sexton has informed Signor Leonato of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify, when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass!
Here comes Master Signor Leonato, and the sexton too.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he? If you would know your wronger, look on me. Art thou the slave that with my breath thou hast killed mine innocent child? Yea, even I alone. No, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honourable men. A third is fled, that had a hand in it. I thank you, princess, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it. I know not how to pray your patience.
Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not but in mistaking, by my soul nor I. And yet to satisfy this good old man, I would bend under any heavy weight that he'll enjoin me to. I cannot bid you bid my daughter live, that were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people in Messina here how innocent she died. And if your love can labour aught in sad invention, hang an epitaph upon her tomb, and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow morning come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew.
My brother hath a daughter, almost a copy of my child, that's dead, and she alone is heir to us both. Give her the right you should have given to her cousin, and so dies my revenge. O noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your author, and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio. Tomorrow then I expect your coming, tonight I take my leave. This naughty man shall face to face be brought to Margaret, who I believe was packed into all of this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me, but always hath been just and virtuous in anything that I do know by her.
Moreover, third, which indeed is not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. And also, the watch heard them talk of one deformed. They say he wears a key in his ear, and a lock hanging by it, and borrows money in God's name, the which he hath used so long, and never paid, that now men grow hard-hearted, and will lend nothing for God's sake. I pray you, examine him upon that point. I thank thee for thy care and honest pains. Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth, and I praise God for you. There's for thy pains. God save the foundation.
Go. I discharge you of this prisoner, and I thank you.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore your health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come now, neighbor.
Until tomorrow morning, my lords, farewell. Farewell, my lords. We look for you tomorrow.
We will not fail.
Tonight, I'll mourn with Hero.
Bring you these fellows on. We'll talk with Margaret how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.